Hi guys, this is Susu from the Sweetness of Health channel, and I just wanted to expand on what I was talking about yesterday on the video. It was a very short clip, but I wanted to go a little bit more into detail about it with the seeds and germinating and the opportunities that you can get if you want to produce your own food for a season, for the year. So I was blessed with sharing a space with someone that has 6 acres of land. She is a farmer. Her and her husband have this amazing, rice farm, and she also does produce. She used to have a CSA. She's been doing this for like 25, 30 years, and right now she's just kind of sizing it down, downsizing, so that she doesn't have to be overwhelmed with so much of it, because she doesn't have as many people that are coming and volunteering. Farming in itself is very hard work. It's very labor intensive, and it is also very, I would say, time consuming. And so you need to really be on your P's and Q's if you're gonna want a very a really good harvest, and also make sure that there aren't any bugs that are eating your plants alive and destroying them, and also animals. You have to make sure that the soil is right, the temperature is right, there's not too much light. There's so many variables, and so it's an art, and I respect farmers for everything that they do. And so what I was saying yesterday is, the title was organic food for pennies. And what I meant by that was that you could buy a pack of seeds, and I have this one here is from Hudson Valley Seed Company. And I grab seeds if they are organic. I grab seeds if they are heirloom. Heirloom meaning that these seeds have been saved and passed down from generation to generation. So it keeps the quality of the seed pure. It keeps the flavor really good, and it also keeps the appearance and the I guess the hardiness of the plant, so that they're not weak. So these farmers and gardeners, professional gardeners that do this for a living and have had it passed down from generation to generation, have saved these seeds, and those are the ones that you want to look for. And so it will say that on the packet, or it'll say organic, and you have to make sure that it really is organic and you're buying from a reputable company, because anyone could slap that USDA organic label on anything nowadays. So if you get a pack of seeds, and if this cost me $2.99 or $3.99, some people might say to themselves, oh, that's expensive. For me, it's not expensive when there's 200 seeds in here. And that's exactly what I was referring to. I was referring to the fact that if you buy a packet of seeds, so this one could be $2.99, I don't remember, and the tag is not on it. This one, which is snowball cauliflower, it's an heirloom seed, as you could see. This one, I don't remember how many seeds it has inside, but it's quite a few, and there's still more in here. But this was probably $1.99. So if I have a tray with even 2 rows of this, what I showed you guys yesterday, so that's 2 rows. I believe there were like, I don't know, 14 little dirt-filled trays, for the seed starting. So most of them will come up. I'm ahead of the game. And so that's what I'm trying to tell you. You can have organic food. I'm not talking about meats, of course. We're talking about produce and fruits. So vegetables and fruits. So your produce that you can actually plant those seeds for pennies. Sometimes when you think about it, it would be less than it would be like maybe 10 of them for a penny, because for that many seeds to come into a packet, and you're paying $2.99. I couldn't even do the math. It was like 0.000995 or something like that. So you're getting a bunch more for less than a penny. And if you could have that harvest, and then once you actually, once you guys harvest the actual plants, the vegetables, the fruits, whatever it might be, then you can not only preserve it, and I'll talk about that too, because there were some things that I did fail to mention But it was a short clip, and I don't really like doing long videos. I like people to get straight to the point, and so that's what I'm trying to do with you guys here. So I will talk about food preservation. There were some things that I did miss. But you could plant these seeds, you can harvest them, and then you share them with your family, you share them with your community, and donate, if you want to some of the food pantries, because there's a lot of people out there that are struggling. And so this is a way to give back, right? And that's exactly what we plan to do with whatever we harvest. So that's a good way to help out and pay forward, right? You're buying a pack of seeds for like $2 or $3, whatever it might be, and you're getting an incredible abundance. And so you share in that, and you just pay forward, because hopefully you'll make an impression on someone's life, and they'll say, hey, you know what? I want to do this too, or I want to help, or I want to learn. This is how I became involved. I love it. It is the most labor intensive. At some moment, I'm really working on not coming home with pain. So I take turmeric in my daily chai or my green tea that has dandelion in it. I'll drink my turmeric, which I actually dehydrated myself, and it's a powder. And then I'll take my lion's mane, and then I'll take some other supplements, and I will go to work on the farm on top of everything else that I'm doing at home, right? Because I do help out with one of my family members, my mom. And so I fit all of that in the day. And then at the end of the day, which we will talk about stress in another video. I didn't want to talk about stress today, and I didn't address everything from yesterday. So, but we will talk about that. So I use everything I can in my power so that I don't have inflammation, so that my muscles are not aching as badly, from putting knee pads on my knees, so that when I am on the ground, it's not going to affect my back. And by the way, that was from a professional farmer, that very successful guy in, I believe it's Canada, him and his wife. And he had mentioned that he is, experienced with this, and he used to go through his aches and pains, and he said another farmer told him, get some knee pads, it'll just relieve the stress on your low back. And sure enough, it worked. So let's talk about this. You get your seeds, you pay whatever, you have to make the investment of that place, right? Meaning land, meaning a garden in the front of your house, the side of your house, the back of your house, partnering up with someone who has a house that has a little land, that can say to you, hey, yeah, sure, you can come and do it. Because there are some people that they might have this huge land, and they don't want to work the land, they don't want to garden, they don't want to farm, and so they're willing to actually allow you the space. Sometimes they'll do it for almost nothing to nothing, and they'll say, hey, if you take care of the land, then no problem, no worries. And by the way, can I get some of the harvest? Sure, why not, right? So that's an agreement that you can come to. There's also, as I mentioned yesterday, community gardens in and around almost every city, every town, every village. And it's up to you, how you want to handle that. If you want to share it with other people, which is good, because then it doesn't take, the burden doesn't fall all on you to maintain it. And then the other thing now is us talking about, what do you do with that harvest? And I mentioned yesterday, I did mention different ways that you can wind up preserving the food, right? But I failed to mention quite a few of them. And I'm still learning, as I told you before. So a couple of things I want to do. And one is I want to give some shout outs. And that is to Maggie, who is from South America. And she took a beat up junkyard kind of city block area that was a building at one time. And then it just was neglected. And it wound up being a bummy lot. And she took that and she cultivated it, and she made it this incredible community garden. And I have to tell you, kudos to her, because She did back-breaking work from carrying buckets of water from her 6th-floor apartment building downstairs repeatedly until the city finally jumped in and helped her and attached a water line for her with the I think the fire hydrant or something. So she transformed this piece of land that was garbage, and she turned it into this beautiful, bountiful, organic garden. And so shout out to Maggie. And then another shout out to a very dear person. Her name is Wendy. She's in Sullivan County up here, and she's an amazing farmer. She's got, specifically, her specialty is garlic, and the girl freeze dries it. Yes, I'm sorry, freeze dries it. And the taste of the garlic in the powder form after you freeze dry, it's like you're biting into a raw garlic. It's delicious, and all you need is a little bit so that you could add any flavors to your dishes. So that's Wendy up at her farm in Sullivan County. Shout out to her. And then, of course, a wonderful shout out to Dawn, who is now allowing me to use part of her 6-acre farm, and we are cultivating everything on her land. And it's just amazing, guys. It's just amazing. So let me tell you really fast what you can do. You can do pressure canning, right? And that could be with meats. So this is not just about produce, but you can do it with meats. You can do it with vegetables, fruits. You can also do pickling, which would be with vinegar. You could do salt and sugar curing with food, specifically meats, as well as some of the fruits and vegetables, but that's mostly meats. You can actually do olive oil immersion. That's another one. You can do alcohol, right? Vinegars. You can also do dehydrating, which is what I have. I have a dehydrator. It's amazing. I wound up slicing some oranges, and I sliced up some apples. Delicious. Just as a snack, it's just delicious. Those things will last you up to like 5 years. If you have a freeze dryer, which is what I had just mentioned before with Wendy and her garlic and creating that powder, if you have a freeze dryer, that will last you 30 years. And it could be meats, it could be butters, it could be eggs, it could be fruits, vegetables. That you could freeze dry almost everything in a freeze dryer. It's a very expensive piece of equipment. It's nothing to just say, oh yeah, I'll go and I'll buy this. No, and it's labor intensive, so you really have to be on top of your game with that. But there are about 9 to 10 methods, including freezing your goods in specific freezer bags so that they don't have that kind of freezer burn taste to it if it's in your deep freezer for a long time. And of course, you have to rotate the food. So these are all things that are really, really good for preserving. Listen, guys, with the prices of food, there's all of these things going on, GMOs that are added, chemicals so that they can spray to kill the bugs, which could kill us and give us, all kind of illnesses. And then the quality of the soil, the hydroponics, which I mentioned yesterday. And I have to say, there are some people who do that, and they're very happy with it. And that's okay. That's good for them. However, I feel without the soil, I think that food is not getting all of the rich nutrients. So just putting these liquid drops inside of these hydroponic vertical gardens, it's not the same. It doesn't taste the same. It tastes very bland. And so I always think it's better for me, just for me. You guys decide what you want to do. I think it's better to have it in the ground. You have all of these wonderful, bugs and worms and the worm castings. I know it sounds gross, but guess what? They actually make the soil rich and fertile. And so the richer it is, the more fertile it is, the better the flavor and the healthier your food is. So these are the reasons why I'm saying to plant your garden and partner up with people. It's not impossible. I thought it would be impossible, and now all of these possibilities are opening up to me. And so I hope that this is helpful for you. If you guys have any questions, then please let me know what you would do on the comments below. And remember, from the bitterness of disease, we learn the sweetness of health. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.